What's up, everybody? This is Cadman Cycling. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have the Herd Beginning Racing Series getting kicked off right now. This is a 16.1 mile race with about 860 feet of elevation gain. And this is through the French countryside. So this is my first time ever racing this map. And out of the gates, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my strategy coming into this race. Now that I have a few of these Zwift races under my belt, one of the big things that you see is out of the gate, these are very fast races. You have to quickly get up to 400 watts plus if you want to be in the front group. So in my previous races, I've done this to make sure I was in the front group, but then realized I got dropped quickly just because my FTP, I couldn't quite stay with that front group. So even if I was with them for a little bit at the start, it would never really last. So my strategy going into this race was take it a little bit easier at the front, especially because this race is a little bit longer than what I'm used to. At 16 miles, I usually do Crit City or some shorter time trials. So this is the longest one I've done to date. So I wanted to make sure I had enough energy to get through all of it. So coming into the race, I wanted to make sure I found my group, but didn't quite push it all the way at the start. And as we see, it's still a pretty big pack, but it's starting to get strung out from the map on the top right corner as we're going up this hill. I can talk a little bit about the elevation of this map. The first few miles are all uphill, and then once you get to the peak of that hill, you immediately descend, and then the entire course is flat till the very end. So it's a quick up, a quick down. Maybe the middle 10 miles, 11 miles are all flat, and then it ends on another hill. So the last mile or so is all uphill. So again, I wanted to make sure I had enough energy at the end if I was still with a pack or in a group to sprint towards the end or at least push it up the final hill to increase my position. So it's getting pretty strung out right now. At the start, to be honest, you can see my heartbeat is already at 180. So I did, even though coming in, my strategy was don't push it at the start. It's just so easy to get caught up in what everybody else is doing in Zwift. So I did still push it pretty hard. I'm around the middle of the pack as it's starting to get a bit strung out and everyone's trying to find their groups. And with that, we'll skip ahead. So now we're 3.3 miles in, and I found my group. So you can see it's me and 4 other riders, with no one really particularly close to us. The group ahead of us is 17 seconds ahead. So we've gone up the hill. We're on our way back down now, descending. But this is the group that I stay with until there's about a mile left in the race. We kind of worked pretty well together. To be honest, I was probably the weakest person in this group, so I spent a lot of my time at the back of the pack here, kind of just drafting off them. But we really worked well together, and we built our lead on the groups behind us. And that's kind of jumping back to the strategy for the race. I realized that it is important to start quickly, because when you find yourself a group that you can ride with for 10 plus miles, that increases your speed because you're not out in the draft kind of racing on your own. So the best way to do it is find your pack quickly and then settle in and get a rotation going. Once you get that rotation going and you work together, you can really start to push yourselves as a group. So that's easiest when everyone's kind of at an equal endurance level. So here we're 4 miles into the race. We still have 12 miles to go, but we're just starting to get in that rhythm as we hit the flat section of the course. We've gone up, we've come back down, and now it's going to be flat for the next 10 or 11 miles until the end. So what I'm thinking here is just start to regain some of that energy after pushing it at the start and kind of settle into a cadence and a power that I can maintain for the rest of the race while holding on to this group. I know that I'm not strong enough to leave this group and try to bridge further forward to make up 17 seconds to reach the group in front of us. But I also can't get dropped off the back. Otherwise, the groups behind me will quickly catch me. So we've kind of settled in around this 65th to 70th place within this race of about 130 people. You can see there is one rider up ahead that got dropped by the group in front of them, so we'll quickly take them over and just continue trying to knock off the time to the group in front of us as we work together. So we just moved forward further into the race. Now we're nearing the halfway point at 7.8 miles, and it's still, there's now just 4 of us. So we actually lost one of the team members. He dropped off the back, and now there's just 4 of us working together. But we continue to rotate. It seems like for the most part, everyone is trying to put in work at the front. I would say if maybe 25%, everyone being on the front would be even. I probably slacked off the most just because I was pushing hard. You can see my heartbeat's at 186 beats per minute. So I'm probably the weakest person in this group, so I didn't find myself pushing on the front as often as some of the other riders were, like the green rider is right now. But we're continuing to move forward together. You can see the group in front of us is just 10 seconds ahead now, so we are making up some ground and continuing to build our lead on the packs behind us as we go through the French countryside. And here we go again. Now we're at 11.2 miles, nearing the last few miles of the race, and it's the same group working together. And as we moved forward, we did continue to pick off a few riders that had been dropped from the earlier group. So currently I'm at 65th, 66th place. So I've made up 3 positions from the point we were at a few miles back, as we continue to work together and pick off some of those other riders. So here we are, 14.5 miles, only 1.7 miles left. It's still this group, but they're definitely picking up pace. So again, I'm nearing 190 beats per minute, doing my best to stay on. To be honest, I didn't think I was going to make it this far. And as we jump forward, here we go, last few feet, I did get dropped. So there were 2 from that pack that took off maybe with a little over a mile left and built a pretty big gap. And then it was me and another guy, and he dropped me as well going forward as we got to this final hill. So this is just the final few feet. I end in 66th out of 129, so right about middle of the pack. This wasn't, I'm Cat C, but this race was for everybody, so it included A, B, C, and D. So I was pretty happy with my overall finish. Like I said, the longest race I've done to date. But yeah, 16.3 miles, and I finished there. It was a tough one, but I had a lot of fun. So like I said, if you like these videos, I put out these race recaps, and then I also do some route recaps. As you can see, I met my monthly goal of riding 100 miles. So if you like this video, please go ahead and give it a like and maybe subscribe to my channel, and I'll be putting out more videos like this. So thanks. This is Cadman Cycling, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.